Hello there, my beautiful, fabulous, darling dragon friends. My name is Ariel. I am the Sassy Dragon, and today we will be reviewing the gorgeous fragrance Coco Noir by Chanel. I have had, let's get the camera to get, I'm sorry about my camera. It is it has the auto correct, so it goes in and out of focus a little bit at times, but this is a fragrance that has been requested by quite a few of you out there who've been watching my videos, and so I finally got a hold of a bottle. I was able to sniff it in the store, and it was definitely one I wanted to add to my collection because I really did enjoy the fragrance of this one. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this on so we can get it in the air while we talk about it. I really had a lot of people say that if, I like the Coco Mademoiselle Intense, which is definitely my other big favorite Chanel, they said that I would probably like the Coco Noir. So let's go ahead and read off the info on this one. The top notes on this are grapefruit, bergamot, and orange. So it starts out with that kind of classic citrus that a lot of Chanel perfumes do have. The middle notes, the heart of this is very floral. It's rose, geranium, jasmine, narcissus, and peach. So there's a little tiny touch of fruit, but not a lot in this one. You definitely get that blast of citrus in the top. It's very fresh in the top notes. But as this dries down, to me, what really makes this one different, what makes this shine the most, is that dry down. It's the patchouli, the sandalwood, olibanum, tonka bean, vanilla, white musk, clove, and benzoin. What makes this one very different to me from something like Coco Mademoiselle Intense is that it is a little less bright, a little less fruity. It's more deep, it's more woodsy. I wouldn't call it smoky necessarily, but it has a little bit of that drier sensibility. To me, it's a little bit more unisex. As I always say, anyone can wear any fragrance they like. There is no law on that. If you enjoy perfume, wear it. That's my only rule of perfume at all. If you love it, doesn't matter what anybody else says. You're the one that has to live in it. So I would say, but as far as like whether it pulls more feminine, masculine, unisex, I feel like this is one really anyone could wear because it does kind of border that line between feminine and masculine. It has enough of that woodsy base that gives it that sensibility. So I really do enjoy that about this one. This one was created by two quite famous noses. This one was Christopher Sheldrake. He's done a number of perfumes, but probably most famous for the old Shiseido Féminité du Bois. That was a very iconic classic of the 90s. And Jacques Polge, of course, the long time Chanel in-house perfumer. So definitely comes to us from a couple of, great noses. And I would also say what I felt about this one in terms of a moderation, like the, how, it's moderate on the longevity. I don't think it lasts quite as long on me as the Coco Mademoiselle Intense. I'll be honest, this one is still the heavy hitter. That is the only issue that I really have with Chanel perfumes in general, is a lot of them just don't last quite as long on me. I would say too, even though it is called Coco Noir, I do not find it particularly heavy. I don't find it overpowering. Of course, I do like stronger perfumes, so that might be a personal preference or personal sensibility for me. For some people, you might go, oh my gosh, this is just too overwhelming. But for me personally, I don't have a problem with it in terms of it feeling overwhelming, especially if you spritz this lightly. I don't think it's going to overwhelm you. And I will say as well, even though it's called noir, I don't see this as a strictly nighttime or going out perfume. This is definitely something, again, like I said, as you, adjust how much you put on, and depending on your personal chemistry for how long it lasts and projects on you, you could wear this anywhere really, to work, office, night out. You know, it's really very versatile in that respect. So I really love that about, you know, this. And of course, you know, I feel like most Chanel's, they are that way. Like they're really made to be that classic perfume. So, you know, the Coco Mademoiselle Intense, still my favorite. Even though the Noir is definitely a close contender, they do have a lot in common, I will say. The biggest difference is that with this one, you're not going to get that deeper, more woodsy dry down. This does have a ton of patchouli, so if you don't like patchouli, you may want to steer clear of it, but I would say that Chanel patchoulis are very refined. They are very elegant. They are not something that's really heavy or dirty smelling. The nicest thing about this one is it does have a lot of, you know, the Madagascar vanilla in it. And I would say that, you know, Chanel vanillas do not have that cakey, fruity smell, not at all. They're dry, they're really clean vanillas, so you may not even recognize it necessarily as a vanilla when you smell their fragrances, but it just gives it such a beautiful warmth. And the labdanum in the base as well does that, and also has the tonka bean, just like the Coco Noir does. The middle, the big difference is the middle. It does not have nearly the abundance of florals that the Coco Noir does. This one only has rose and jasmine with some fruity notes in the middle instead of, you know, the narcissus and all of that other floral geranium that the Noir does. This one, of course, starts out as well with the Sicilian orange, bergamot lemon. So, you know, similar, that fresh kind of citrus in the top. So it's really just a matter of personal preference. I really enjoy them both. You know, to me, Chanel fragrances aren't what I would call overtly sexy or seductive. They're sensual, but not in that like, you know, kind of come and get me sort of way. They're not like that. They're a lot more like reserved, sophisticated, kind of like I'll just hang back here and let you come to me kind of vibe. So that's what I would say as well about this. But Coco Noir is definitely more one that is a little bit more sedated, you know, a little bit more toned down than Coco Mademoiselle Intense or regular Mademoiselle. But I really like it. I like these more than like the number 5. I love the scent of number 5, but I mostly like it on other people because it is a little more dry. It's a little more masculine and unisex than the Coco Noir or the Mademoiselles. So that is my take on this. I also do find it interesting that, you know, Coco Noir is by Jacques Polge and the Intense is by Olivier Polge, which is his son. So in a lot of ways, you could also take something from that as well, where this one has a little bit more mature, you know, kind of grown-up vibe. To me, the Mademoiselle is more playful. It's a little bit more light and sparkly. This one's more serious and a little bit more, you know, grounded because of all those woodsy notes. So that's kind of a vibe as well to me too. You have to consider the person it's coming from, and you have that more, you know, I don't like to ascribe ages to perfume. Again, just like I don't like to ascribe genders to perfumes. Because that's something I really cannot stand when I hear people say, oh, it smells like an old lady. I'm like, well, if an old lady smells like Chanel number 5, I'm sorry, she's probably the best smelling old lady on the block. Because all of us are going to be old ladies one day. All old ladies were once young ladies. And it really doesn't matter. So to me, but there is that more sense of like someone who's got a more mature air about them than someone who has a more lively or energetic or what we think of as a youthful energy. So that's the way I look at this. I look at it more as an energetic thing than a chronological age thing. So to me, you know, Mademoiselle is definitely that lighter, more playful, sparkly kind of vibe. And I don't care what age you are. So because there are people older than me running around that have a lot more energy and a lot more joie de vivre than I have on a lot of days. And I'm probably a little more serious, you know, than a lot of people my age. So wear what you like. Use it as it applies to your personal mood. That's often the way I apply perfume. You know, and so I would say that if I was having a more, you know, I want to go out and be in the sun and hang out with my friends, then it's a Coco Mademoiselle kind of day. And if it's more like I want to hang out in a coffee house and drink a nice cup of coffee and chill out with a book and just, you know, vibe with myself, this is the one I would go for, because it's more of that like grounding and centering yourself kind of perfume. It's a little more introverted, whereas things like Coco Mademoiselle are more extroverted. All right, guys, I had a wonderful time smelling these. Thank you again to all of you who recommended me to get the Coco Noir. I'm glad that you gave me that push, because it's something that I had my eye on. I absolutely adore the bottle. Oh, there's just something so gorgeous about that shiny black glass. There's not that many fragrances that do their bottles in a black glass, so when I find them, it's just such a beautiful addition to your perfume collection. But thank you again for those who nudged me in that direction. And let me know what you think of these fragrances. Which is your favorite Chanel that I may or may have not smelled before, because I'm always open to suggestion and what you would like me to review. And have a wonderful day, evening, or afternoon, wherever you may be. And I will see you soon. Take care.